we had rocks thrown at us by nothing, right? I mean, there wasn't anything in the room, and we have this all on camera, and you can actually hear these rocks being thrown at us and ricocheting off of the metal springs from box springs that were original to the building. And Derrick and I spent 3/4 of the time trying to figure out what the hell was happening. Are they throwing something at us? Are we making this up? Is the ceiling crumbling and falling?
Yeah, right. Is something falling on us?
Yeah.
Yeah, I told Derrick I felt very uncomfortable. I felt like we needed to leave that area. And I said to the room, listen, I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel safe here. Like, if this is something trying to make a point that you don't want us to be here, do it again. And I told them, I said, if you do this again, we will leave. We will respect you and your space. We will leave. And they did it again. And then we exited stage left. Like, we said, okay, we respect you.
I mean, it was genuinely frightening too.
Hello, friends. Welcome to another episode of the Dammit Danii Podcast. I am very excited to have some guests here that I have interviewed before with Chris Hopper on Poor Man's Podcast. So I've got Chris, my honorary co-host, here with me today. And I also...
Thank you.
Oh, always, Chris. I'm always so happy to have you with me. And we have Dan and Derrick from Iron City Paranormal. So thank you guys for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Of course. So, okay, so we're just going to dive back into it because I wanted to ask you guys a question. So you were talking a little bit about mediums, and I've had a few mediums on the podcast previously, and you had expressed that you had worked with one before and kind of vetted that person out. So what is that process like when you would approach a medium to work with you, and why do you choose not to work with a medium now?
When we work with mediums, so one thing that the mediums that have worked with us need to understand, and the ones that are currently working with us need to understand, is that mediumship is a tool.
Yeah.
Right? Mediumship is an ability that Derrick and I do not have. So we look at that as an extension of what we can provide to an investigation. This specific medium that we used to work with was against being called a tool, which I get, right? I mean, nobody wants to be called a tool.
Well, yeah.
But,
In the end of the day, it is what it is, though. I mean, that's the gift is the tool. It's
right.
the ability to. It's something we don't have, like Dan said. So use it for the good of the investigation.
I think it'd be flattering to be called a tool because, like, you have that. I mean,
well,
in this context,
in this context, it's absolutely it's meant to be, a good thing because, again, Derrick and I don't have that ability. So when we do investigations, we are very reliant on the slight sensitivities that we have as individuals, but also our equipment, right? And what mediumship brings is not having to rely on stuff that plugs into batteries to work, right? They can do things without all of that.
Yeah. They replace our tools, basically. So
they do it, right? And they're an extension of what we can provide as a group, right? And some people take that as a positive, which with other people take that as a negative to say, well, you're using me. Well, no, we're not using you, but we also are, right? Like we as a group need this. So you need to understand that is something that you provide. So the people that we've worked with in the past that see that as a negative, we choose not to work with them anymore, just because they not only add drama to what we do, which is not what we're looking for.
That's fair.
But also, it brings the mood down, and Derrick and I are very big on maintaining a positive approach at things, because that's why we don't bring stuff home with us, because we enter in with a positive, clear mind, we exit with a positive, clear mind, and nothing negative comes out of it, and we don't bring shit home.
And you
is
can
there a
feel
lot
it.
of ego in the medium game? Like, shouldn't you
There
go in with
is.
the community, like where
It seems to be.
get to the point?
Yeah, you would hope so, right? I mean, you would hope so that they come in with a very clear mind and a positive attitude, but as we found out, they don't, right? And it's not just mediums. I don't want to like single people out. It's not just mediums. It's anybody, right?
Yeah.
You know, and when we have met people in this, I'm going to call it an industry, but in this community of paranormal investigations, there's people that we choose not to associate ourselves with because Derrick and I don't like them as people, right? Like,
well, they think they're bigger than the whole thing. I mean,
yeah,
that's not why we do it. You know, we're not in this for fame and whatever the hell they're in it for. That's not the purpose of this.
That's right. Like Derrick and I aren't in this for views. Like,
yeah,
we don't look at our YouTube account and be like, oh crap, guys, today we had 10 views. Like tomorrow we're going to hope we have 20 views. Like that's not what we do, right? We are just...
Every once in a while we'll glance at it and be like, holy hell, how did we do this?
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
yeah,
that's
of course.
Normal, but like we are in it for what we experience as individuals when we do investigations. And we hope that our sharing of what we experience furthers the discussion about what we don't understand, right? Because we both believe that when we talk about things, people that are afraid to discuss differences are what make things very dangerous, right? I don't want everybody to have hard black and white evidence of everything. You know, we have fun in the gray.
Yeah.
Right? And when everybody is saying everything either needs to be black or white, living or dead or whatever, we don't want to associate. Like, no thanks, no, but no thanks.
We
right?
live in the middle.
We're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. We have to.
Well, I feel like it's just very true to what you're doing. I mean, I feel like the whole concept of ghost hunting and energies and what you're picking up on, like, is very gray.
Oh my God, it's nothing but gray, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the guy that we've worked with. That we've investigated a tattoo shop that I go to for some work. That's what he asked me. He's like, "What if one day you die and you find out that there's no such thing as ghosts?" And we're like, "Dude, I'm not going to give a shit if there's such a thing as ghosts at that point." But I'll tell you what, like,
yeah,
well,
too late.
absolutely. But in the here and now, like in the time that I'm spending on this earth, if I have fun hunting ghosts with Derrick, I'm gonna have fucking fun hunting ghosts with Derrick. You know, it's a lot of fun, and we enjoy the hell out of it, and we have some really cool experiences that we can't explain, and that is it.
I think you guys have such a great energy. Like, one of my favorite episodes of Poor Man's Podcast was the one that we did that you guys were on as guests, and you brought like the objects, like the haunted objects in. That was, you guys just are just fun, and like you're having a good time, and I can just tell you genuinely enjoy what you're doing, and that's what it's about.
Exactly. That's the whole point.
We really do. I mean, at the crux of it all, Derrick and I are good friends from a long time ago. That is it.
Yeah.
You know, like,
how long have you known each other?
I met Derrick when we were in 3rd grade, maybe.
Oh, wow.
Something like that. Yeah, it was definitely early elementary school. It was through baseball too, right?
It was. It was like a long time ago.
So when did oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
No, when did ghost hunting under the chat? Like, did you meet as 3rd graders and you're like, let's go find some ghosts?
Yeah, let's start dumping the money into it now. No, it never really, it wasn't about that until much later. I mean, we've always enjoyed the horror movies and, you know, hanging out, watching that kind of stuff. It was never really something that was in the forefront, you know? Not until probably the bachelor party, right? I mean, that was really when we started doing it.
Yeah, Derrick and I were always the friends that, like, if there was a scary movie that came out, like, Derrick and I were, you know, renting it from, we were like renting it from Blockbuster or whatever the hell.
Love it.
With that Hollywood Video or whatever the hell it was back in the day. Yeah, hell yeah. Like, that's what Derrick and I, like, when we were kids, like, our parents would rent us scary movies and we would just get together and watch the shit. Like, it was a blast, you know, we enjoyed it. So then, like, fast forward to adult times, you know, we started investigating at Derrick's bachelor party just because his wife, you know, wasn't keen on the strip clubs and bar scene, for us as a bachelor party. So we went to investigate a place using other people's equipment, and that's where it took off.
I love that. That's like, you know what? No strip clubs, no bars. So what's the next best thing? You go ghost hunting.
Naturally.
Fucking ghost hunting. And the first place we ever investigated had a promiscuous ghost that apparently...
It did, that's true. The hallway. Or the stairwell.
That was the stairwell. Name was Ghost.
Yes, it was.
Was there just a leg? Was there like a translucent leg that came out from a corner?
She was very handsy.
Yeah,
Stop. Wait, no, she was handsy.
So like one of the guys who was investigating with us, who shall go unnamed, he found out about this promiscuous ghost that apparently liked to touch guys going from the second floor to the third floor of this extremely haunted.
Just sat there the entire night.
Yeah, like that was his goal, was to get fondled by a ghost. And that's what he did, and we had a blast doing it. And
was there fondling? Did that take place?
There was not.
I don't think so. I think he was disappointed in that.
He was.
He
was, but he was also high as shit during the whole thing. So if that's what he wanted to do, like he enjoyed the night that way. Derrick and I enjoyed the night by actually trying to find evidence.
It sounds like such a good time.
It was a blast.
I love it.
It was a blast. It was a blast.
I mean, there's a reason we keep doing it, right? I mean, it started good, kind of only got better from there.
Now, Danny, you went with me and the whole crew for the Iron City Paranormal little tour, right?
I was scared shitless. Yeah, I was so scared to go ghost hunting. I was like, I am not going to be open to this, and I'm going to have the one, like, something's going to happen to me.
Yeah. And Derrick and Dan, I don't know if you guys will continue to do it. I hope you do. It was a great experience. It was super fun. You guys, you are like the coolest guys, just super nice to talk to, and you make it easy to understand.
Yeah.
And it was a good time.
It was so fun.
Well, thank you. That means a lot, and that's the point. That's letting people experience these kinds of things as simply and easily as you can. I mean, I know you guys had a blast, and Danny, you ended up leading the female troop into the basement.
I did.
So, that fear went right out the window pretty quickly.
It turned very quickly. I don't know. I felt comfortable, and it was fun, and I was like, let's do this. Let's march down to that basement and find us a ghost.
Well, and Danny, I appreciate you saying that, because that's like Derrick and I have no interest in convincing people anything is real, right?
Yeah.
Because we don't know. I have no idea if there's a ghost that's interacting with our devices. No idea, right? But what we want to do is create a safe space, right? That is all that matters to us, is that we create a safe space where individuals like yourselves can come in and join us and come up with your own decision on whether what we've experienced or not is paranormal or if it's bullshit.
Right.
I don't care.
I think that's how you know that you guys are being honest about it, though. You're not pushing an agenda. You're not saying this is gonna happen. Let's go in with an open mind and let's see how it goes together.
Yeah, and there's many times where something just doesn't happen. You spend the entire night there and nothing happens, and it is what it is.
And trust me, it is so disappointing, because Derrick and I and Erin have spent so much money going to locations where we have driven to the middle of frickin' nowhere and spent $800, $900 for the night to investigate a location, and absolutely nothing happened. I'm not going to tell you, Derrick and I and Erin are not going to tell you that something happened. We're just going to call it like it is and say, this was a freaking bummer of a night. Nothing wanted to talk to us, but again, make your own decision, right? I don't care. I don't care if you like ghosts. I don't care if you.
But you're not the only person to say that either, Danny. When it comes down to it, I mean, we were just on an investigation 2 weekends ago now, where we had John from You Jag Off podcast, and he said the exact same thing. He wasn't sure what he was going to get into, and he was just there to observe, right? But he said that he had no idea, but he ended up being comfortable. And he enjoyed it, and it was just not anything like he was expecting. And I think that's what ultimately ends up happening, is people just don't know what they're getting into. And the end of the day, it's like second nature.
Yeah.
I mean, it just kind of happens.
Well, and I think when you're like with a group where it's like you have leaders like both of you and like you're, very present and you're very comfortable and you're like kind of explaining like what's going to happen and like the history, I think that makes you feel better as well because I don't know, like I feel like I've watched shows like, and I'm basing this all off of what I've watched on television because that was my first time that I've ever done it. But like I watch it and like it just seems so extreme. They're like, we walked into this house and found a demon. And I'm like,
yeah.
I don't love that.
Well,
No.
and we have to preface things when somebody does join us. Like, this is not like TV. You have to be aware of that going into it because you're right. Like, that's most people. That's what they see. That's the only experience they have of some of these things.
Half
And
that
if you
stuff
don't
on
know
TV
any different,
feels
that's
so
what
fake.
it is. It is.
Yeah,
Well, because
it's all
it is.
Let's hype it up, and then you watch it and you're like, well, it's inconclusive, but yeah.
Right. They're like, yeah, maybe.
So it's like, my dad bought a boat last year, right? He'll never listen to this, but if he does,
I hope he
what's
does.
going on?
I hope
What's
this
going
is the
on?
first thing
I
he
hope
listens
I
to.
hope he does too. Hey, Dan's dad.
I'll send him the link.
Like he bought a boat last year, right? And his retirement plan was to sit on a boat and enjoy being on a boat because he watches people on YouTube that have these 15-minute videos where they're having a blast on a boat.
I love that.
They're out like swimming with dolphins and there's shit jumping around. And it's awesome and it's beautiful and all this. Like his wife's in a bikini and all these fun things. But like
Guess
I
what?
told him, I'm like, guess what, Dad? Like they probably filmed for a week to find 15 minutes. They were having fun living on a boat because the other, 90 some hours sucked ass because you are trying to maintain a boat. You're trying to not, sink the boat. You're trying to not like be boarded by pirates. You're not trying to do all of these things.
They try to steal your booty and like that
Right.
that happens.
Absolutely. Like, don't touch my booty. Like, very much the case.
Or do.
But that's very much
My
ghost
toes.
hunting. But that's very much ghost hunting. Like 3/4 of the time that we are ghost hunting, Derrick and I are sitting in a dark space, getting
Farting.
nothing, farting.
As
No,
one does.
I mean, what else would you do? I mean, there's nothing nothing that happens, right? But those 15 or 20 minutes a night that make it fun, or like something happens or something interacts with an object that we have set out, that makes the trip worth it,
Yeah.
right?
So let me ask, did you have an experience ghost hunting where you had something actually happen and you were like, oh shit, should we be messing with this? Should we be doing this?
Yes.
Please tell us.
So, for me, we were at the Fairfield County Infirmary in Ohio.
Okay. What is that?
This was a poor farm. Essentially, like the infirmary was a glorified name for a poor farm. Poor farms were places in history where before people understood what mental health was, before people understood even what like female cycles were and everything else, like when people would get into these difficult places in their life, their family would dump them at these places.
It was literally a dumping ground. I mean,
It really was.
Oh,
There
God.
were orphan children there. There were people that were mentally unstable, and there were
Criminals.
criminally insane people. There were women there that were going through menstruation that people just didn't understand. There were men there that, might have been a little handsy or whatever. Like they were very minor things that these people would experience or go through in their lives, and their family just didn't want to deal with it, so they would dump them at these poor farms.
Oh, wow.
And these places were not filled with skilled workers. They weren't filled with all of these state funding or anything else to take care of them. So Derrick and I were at this poor farm in Ohio that was called the Fairfield and County Infirmary, and him and I were up on the 4th floor.
it was just us two.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
just Derrick and I in about, what was it, like 35,000 square feet. It was a
Something
very
like that,
large-
yeah.
It was a
Holy
very
shit.
large
It's huge.
location. Very large location. Him and I were the only ones in the building, and up on the 4th floor in the place where they kept the mentally unstable people, we had rocks thrown at us by nothing, right? I mean, there wasn't anything in the room, and we have this all on camera, you know, and you can actually hear these rocks being thrown at us and ricocheting off of the metal springs from box springs. They were original to the building. And, you know, Derrick and I spent 3/4 of the time trying to figure out what the hell was happening. Mm-hmm. You know, are they throwing something at us? Are we making this up? Is the ceiling crumbling and falling?
Yeah, right. Is something falling on us?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we tried everything to figure out what else it could be. And, you know, I made a comment to Derrick, and I was like, Derrick, I think something's throwing something at us. And I said, just to the room, I said, hey, guys, I'm like, we are not disrespecting you. We are asking you to just interact with us. You know, if this is in fact somebody throwing something at us, can you do it again? And as soon as I said that, something else threw something at us, you know, and it was very much the same thing. Derrick and I went to figure out what it was because we're idiots. You know, we're going to run around trying to find out what the hell threw something at us.
Well, of course.
Ever since then, it's been my job.
Yeah, so then I told Derrick I felt very uncomfortable. I felt like we needed to leave that area. And I said to the room, I said, listen, I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel safe here. Like, if this is something trying to make a point that you don't want us to be here, do it again. And I told them, I said, if you do this again, we will leave. We will respect you and your space. We will leave. And they did it again. And then we exited stage left. Like, we said, okay, we respect you.
I mean, it was genuinely frightening too.
What was that? Another rock?
If there's anyone in here with us, we mean you no harm. We just want to talk.
My name is Dan.
I'm Derrick.
And like Derrick said, what we're here to do is talk with you. We're not here to hurt you. We're not here to, you know,
We're not going to cause any harm.
do anything at all besides just listen to you and hear your story. So if you're throwing things at us,
There's no reason.
yeah, we don't appreciate that. We mean you no disrespect, so we would appreciate respect in return from you. What was that? I don't like it up here. I kind of want to go. Like, I'm terrified of this right now. Doesn't feel good up here.
Like, I got chills. There's something not right here.
Yeah, can we go? No, I don't like it.
Just, I mean, like we're talking about with the energies and the feelings, like it felt negative. You could just sense it, you know?
Yeah, and it wasn't evil, right? It was not evil.
Yes.
It feels like a place where like some bad stuff probably happened to some people.
True.
Yeah.
Like, it just seems like, I don't know, Lord of the Flies or something at that place.
Oh, so I mean, Chris, you couldn't be more perfect with that, right? So on the 4th floor of this location, there were 2 wings, right? One wing of the building was on the 4th floor was all orphan children, where people that didn't have people to care for them, they would just drop them off at this place. So these kids, they built cardboard dividers between like places where like this
stalls,
is Jimmy's,
basically.
Yeah, this is Jimmy's stall. This is Betty's stall. This is, you know, whoever's stall. That was one wing of the building. There was a small section between them where if you misbehaved as an inmate, which they called you as a patient there, if you misbehaved, if you were a woman caught on the men's floor, if you were a man caught on the woman's floor, if you were a kid that was misbehaving, they would shackle you to the wall, right?
And the shackles are still there.
Shackles are still there. That was the middle section, like maybe like a 8-foot wide section. And then on the opposite side of that 8-foot area, separating the children who were left there and abandoned, that's where they kept the mentally unstable patients. So you've got it all on the same floor. It's
there's
wild.
Strong supervision, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You had the people that were shackled to the wall saying, "Don't you go in there? You're not supposed to be in there." Yeah. No, thank you.
Did you do a reading on the shackles at all? Did it like make any? I don't like. I guess I don't know enough about the tools to like ask like if it, I guess it pinged or it like made a noise.
Yeah, we what we did was we took a cauldron and we threw some grass in it, and then we threw some.
Did you crack it? Did you put a little bit of blood on it and then crack
some hair too?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I've never seen that before.
Witch's broom.
Never in a feature film that just came out this year.
Yeah. So no, we did not. Derrick and I are spiritually stupid. Like we don't know how to do all that stuff. But like we took our devices around them. There was nothing. We don't know if they were.
We spent time in the area, but outside of just trying to open the room and trying to communicate with something, there was no like direct tie into any of that stuff.
Okay.
And to be honest, most of those shackles are probably, if I had to guess, like refurbished just to give you an idea of what it was.
Oh,
That's
okay.
how a lot of those places are. Like they weren't original to that time period. I don't know for sure, but that would be my guess.
They wiped the orphan blood off from the,
Right. And then refurbished it, shined it up a little bit.
Yeah, they hosed them down before we came in, It was all good.
all white, you're good.
That's right.
Like it's good to go. I mean, I feel like the rocks being thrown is more than enough. I think that's more than enough.
It was one of those times where we were not in control.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys noticed when we were investigating with you guys. Yeah. When we aren't in control, that's where we kind of pull ourselves out.
Yeah, we back away.
Yeah, that's the time when we are exposing ourselves and not only ourselves but potentially our families, right?
Right.
We don't want to bring that stuff home with us. We have kids. We don't need that stuff in our life, so we treat it as a hobby and we want to leave it as such.
Absolutely.
This pitch does make me want to go though.
Hell yeah, it does, dude. Anytime, brother.
Yeah, that place sounds. I don't know if I like the evil vibe because I believe, or not evil, but like unsettling vibe or whatever. But the rocks and I don't know. I feel like
there's a lot of those places, those poor farms. That's just kind of what you get. That's the feeling that's left over from those kind of places.
Yeah.
But anytime you want to come with us, you're invited.
How far? Where in Ohio?
So that's like
Chris is making plans to go to this fucking
Fairfield,
place.
Ohio. It's maybe like 2.5 hours from Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's drivable.
Yeah. Okay.
So
if you guys do go back, let me know.
Hell yeah, dude. We would absolutely love to do that because we were only there once and the two of us could only cover so much ground.
Yeah, I was going to say just the two of us, it was not enough to cover every even just the hot spots. It wasn't enough.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested.
Is that the next episode of our podcast together? You and I?
Let's find out when Danny's coming back to town and then make it happen.
Plan it, yeah.
I'm going to volunteer Danny for her.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a little different than a tattoo parlor, I guess, but...
This is,
Oh my God.
This is a whole different ball game.
I mean, it's night
almost
and day,
no
right?
shackles at the tattoo parlor.
No shackles. I saw not a shackle.
There was that one. No, but seriously.
They were pink and fluffy there, though.
Yes, and that's what I like. Pink, fluffy handcuffs. Everything else,
no. These ones were like
leopard print
rusted. And these ones are rusted. They will give you tetanus. They will,
Great.
ruin like several generations of your children. They will be screwed.
Well,
no, these are the real thing.
I'll say a prayer and get my shots updated.
Yes, sir.
That's really great. Erin, thank you for joining us. I saw you popped on a little bit ago.
Apologize. I had so many technical difficulties getting on here, but I'm glad I was able to get on finally.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, girl. I live in technical difficulties. I totally understand. No worries at all. No worries. I do want to talk about the last time we were all together, you had brought those like haunted objects with you. Is that something that you all regularly like experience? Do you get like donations like that? Have you gotten anything recently?
I mean, that's kind of what happens. Is that like things show up. We actually did have something happen to us recently, and I still haven't opened it.
Stop.
I mean, all the stuff that we have, like they were all like gifted to us in some way or another. We don't go after them. We don't look for them or try to find them. And I know exactly what you're talking about with like the Dybbuk boxes and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that was gifted to us. I had no idea what it was at the time, and yeah, it's creepy. Those we typically bring out to like conventions and shows and stuff as a talking point, you know.
Yeah.
But we were, but actually just recently at our last investigation at Caliente's Pizza, right before I was sorting through all of our stuff, like our convention box, and I'm looking just for like business cards, stickers, whatever, just to give these guys something.
Yeah.
And I couldn't find anything, but what I did find, I got to the bottom of this box, and there was this weird thing. I don't even know how to describe it. I mean, you guys saw it. It was this box covered in like carpeting or something, like
it was
the
so
underlayment.
Weird.
It was weird.
It was so weird.
I'm trying to find the picture on my phone right now.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I want to see it.
On it, so I
send
can find
the picture for when the episode comes out so that we can include it. Also, if you have the video from the rock throwing, please send that.
We can find some stuff, I'm sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure we can. Yeah, but like, so to answer your question, yes, people just give us this stuff. And the second part of that question is, yes, Derrick accepts it.
He's
right?
like, I'll sign for it.
Honest,
it was an accidental tradition, put it that way. Like, I had no idea what I was getting into originally.
So it started with the Dybbuk box, and Derrick sent me a photo in the middle of the day. I was at work, and he sent me this picture, and he was like, dude, look at this weird box that somebody that I work with gave me. And I was like, okay. So I sit there, and I open the photo, and it was a Dybbuk box on the screen. And I was like, dude, do you have any idea what you just did? And he's like, no, I don't know what this is. I thought it looked
cool.
It does.
He's like, and it was weird as shit, right? It was, in his defense, it was creepy, you know, but I told him what it was. Like, it was a Dybbuk box. That is something that the only way that you can get rid of those is to gift it to somebody else, which they did, and he accepted. That's the only way that you can rid your life of that thing, is to ask somebody else to take it, and they will take it. So he took possession of it, and I explained him to what it was, and he, instead of thinking like, oh, maybe we should find something to do with this, he thought, boy, that's something that I want to keep in my house, that I want to tell everybody about, and I will, you know, continue to maintain this evil thing in a box. Yeah, Chris, that's exactly it. You know, like on the right-hand side, that's the Dybbuk box.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, there it is.
To the doll.
I remember. That was a precious moment. So, Derrick, when
weird things just keep happening.
When you invite people over for like drinks, or you like, hi, here's some hors d'oeuvres, and here's a Dybbuk box that I also have.
Yeah, I set them on it, actually.
Yeah.
You have to touch the Dybbuk box to get anything.
It's a perfect item to serve food on. Does someone just hand it to you over a cubicle? I'm so confused.
It was a woman knew that we were doing this, and her son had passed away, and she was cleaning out his house, or his room, and she came upon this creepy looking thing.
Oh, shit.
And was like, hey, you'll probably like this. Like, she had no idea what it was, so it's not like she was trying to get rid of it because she knew what it was.
Yeah.
At least to my knowledge.
That's what I would tell you.
So she just...
Same.
Right.
Yep.
So she just kind of passed it off to us, and I didn't know what it was at first either.
She played that really well, handing that over.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
She played it off.
Well, you know, this is just an open call. If you have anything creepy, I'm sure we can include Derrick's address or
I'll
PO
give you the
box.
address, that's right.
You can just send
I
it
will
his
add
way.
to it.
He accepts
It's a
all
collection.
things.
I just need to get my closet blessed every once in a while.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. So, Erin, let me ask you, what part do you play in the investigations?
I feel like I play the part of trying to help facilitate tapping into any sensitivities that the guys have.
Okay.
And trying to bring that out. I don't do well with a lot of the technology.
Okay.
I cannot hear things whenever they have things happen. I mean, I can, but I'm not as honed in as these guys are. But a lot of what I try to bring to the table is just focusing on those sensitivities and that intuition and trying to pull that to the surface and trust it a little bit more. which can be hard to.
I would say Erin's definitely more in tune to like the mediumship side of things.
Okay.
Rather than the tech side of things. So she kind of bridges that gap.
Well, and I'm sure it's nice too to have a female energy. Like you have two males that are, you know, investigating, and then having a female that's really like in touch with what's could potentially be in the room. Like I feel like you would tap into something maybe different than they may.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've definitely like come across children before.
Okay.
That no chance in hell they want to talk to two large bearded older men. Like
They're like,
no
nah,
way.
we're good.
So
More
we've
approachable
experienced.
from a stranger.
I mean, to put it lightly, yes, that's the best way. But yeah, we've experienced that, and most of these things have actually occurred before Erin had joined us. Like we did an opera house at one point where we were interacting with children, but all they would do was come close to some of our tools, and we
Okay.
would try to start to talk to them or open some communication or something, or even come too close. It's like it all stopped. It's just, you know, like they didn't want anything to do with us.
Yeah.
So, but I know Erin's even it makes it easier to speak to some of these things. There's even times where they reach out directly to her and say, you know, I want to talk to her. You know, that's happened to us quite a few times.
That's wild. But it's funny that you say that because like I've had a few mediums on the podcast and they've both been female. And I did not realize that it's more of a male dominated field in investigating. So it opened my eyes to it. And they're like, yeah, we've experienced things in these locations that maybe previous investigators haven't. So you go, girl.
We've also had, like, I'm thinking of in County, I think when we were there last time, Derrick, that I had an experience where we were in a portion of the area that was male dominated when there were people living there, and I had a really negative pushback that it didn't want me there and physically chased me out of the space. Meanwhile, Derrick and Dan were there and didn't feel any of that. They didn't feel the discomfort. They didn't feel the unease. It was so uncomfortable for me. I actually left the investigation
Really?
physically sick on the way home because it was so intense. I had to pull over and get sick out the side of the car because it was so intense. And meanwhile, the guys were like, we didn't feel it. So it was so interesting because there was one other female that was there.
Yeah.
The one that made the point, like, hey, you guys were in a male-dominated space, and it chased me to the edge of the male-dominated space and then went away, which was really interesting. Like, they wouldn't have picked up if it were just them.
Yeah.
And it's kind of crazy that you say things like that because a lot of these things happen, and then after the fact, you look back and you're like, oh, wait a second. This makes more sense now. Like she's saying with the male-dominated spot.
Mm-hmm.
She reached the end of that hallway and she was okay.
Yeah.
But until somebody mentioned it and brought it up, like we didn't have a clue that was that area where it was the male-dominated spot. So it made sense in that regard. And looking back on it, you know, so that just kind of harkens to the whole we're not forcing anything. You know, we're not trying to bring any of these things out. We can't fake something that we don't know.
No. Is there a ghost here with us right now?
Yeah, it sounds like it.
I think by the name of Dan. Maybe Dan has something with him. I'm always told that I have some old man hanging over my shoulder. Maybe it's Dan's turn.
It might be. I've never had this happen before, by the way.
Oh, that's
Well,
Ew.
you know, it started with the Ouija board talk.
It did. It did. I'm like scared to talk because I don't want to hear it again.
Has this just been hijacked by a ghost?
I think so. Ever since I brought up that Ouija board that I purchased online, which I thought was completely okay.
See, the more you know.
Exactly. And now we're just haunted. And I feel like if there's a time for it to happen, it is right now.
That's true. You're welcome.
Thank you.
That's how you know that you're on their radar, Derrick.
Exactly.
Good. Perfect. That's great. So let's talk about, or should we wait for Dan to talk about the book?
So the book, I don't know how much you want to get into at this point.
Okay.
But the book is just one of my projects.
Okay.
So perfect.
Short stories.
Yeah, this works out very well while
it's-
Dan's figuring out his spirits.
Right. So that's kind of one of my side pet projects that I've been working on for a while. I write for the magazine UNX. So
Okay.
it's kind of another portion of what we do as far as the investigation goes, getting something in writing, something that you can share with, everybody else, something that it's not just a ghost story anymore. It's something that you can kind of take and put it in play for somebody else to use.
Yeah.
Or somebody else to learn about or research. And so that kind of spun off with UNX saying, hey, look, do you have anything else that you can offer to us? And I've been doing short stories for quite some time. I enter them in competitions and things like that.
That's awesome.
And so I ended up building this up where it's an anthology of about 10 stories. So I kind of put it all together, and I've continued it in that sense. But
Derrick, where can people get the book?
Yeah.
So I can get you guys a link to it. It's on Amazon.
Okay.
The book is called All Monsters Are Human, and it is my debut published book.
That's so cool.
I love it.
It's almost surreal to see it actually happen and come to fruition, because it did take a lot of work to get to that point. But I do have a bunch of other stuff in the works, and it does suck that Dan's not on it, because one of the next projects is kind of a combined thing where UNX was interested in doing something that was a haunted city, essentially, or like a place that has a bunch of different haunted places. And we've been to Waterford, Pennsylvania before. Small town, not a lot's known about it, but we've investigated there twice. And when UNX mentioned this, like, hey, an area that has a bunch of different hauntings, this ended up coming up, So what we did is we're working with these people. We actually have 2 investigations lined up next year.
Oh, it's awesome.
We had a lineup of people coming to us with different stories and things like, this place is haunted, this place is haunted, here's my story. So we're going to get all that in writing and actually have like a compilation book on the area. But we did Judson House and Eagle Hotel are the 2 places we've investigated before. But the entire town is paved over in bones. Like when they added on to their town and like repaved the roads, they dug up old cemeteries, literally reused what they had there, and they paved their road in literal human bones. There are stories. Those that they're
like
some of the people that
do. That's crazy. That's in Pennsylvania.
Right? That's
they
wild.
didn't mean to do it because it was an unmarked cemetery.
Yeah,
but they did. Some of these people came up to us and they were explaining like, hey, when I was a kid, I would be walking the streets after it was paved, and I would find like watches and necklaces, like jewelry that people were buried with. And they would literally find fragments of bones. So like, no wonder why this town is haunted, But so that is one of our next projects coming up is trying to put this entire town on the map with all these stories.
Oh, wow. I'm looking forward to that. Because I've never heard of that town before.
I'll tell you that. I mean, you hear about these kinds of things, but not a lot of it's in writing. It's all, this person said this, or you told me this story. To keep it alive in writing and passing it along, I feel like that's half of the big picture of what we do.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
That's so cool. The historian part is cool.
Yeah, I love it. I go down rabbit holes. I mean, Erin can tell you, like,
right?
Many times,
Yeah.
I mean, some of the coolest stuff that we've had happen has been at Gettysburg, and like not when we were trying to, it just happens.
I feel like Pennsylvania as a state too is just very rich in history. So, I mean, I feel like the possibilities are endless of like the different places you could go, just even exclusively in PA.
Well, this whole like tri-state area really has a lot of history behind it. Specifically, like, I feel like almost any place we go, there's like, well, there's this Native American story, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, you can't get away from it, really. And I remember actually growing up neighbors to Erin. That's one of my first memories of the paranormal, was going into our combined backyards in the woods. And I remember vividly seeing one of these Native Americans standing there getting water down by the river. I'm like, that's holy crazy shit. Like, no, who's going to believe something like that, So, but it was crazy. And I mean, You can speak of the area, Erin. I know it's like rich with Native American stuff.
Yeah, even this area that he's talking about, this was a space that I used to go play in the woods all the time. And when we really connected about this being his first experience, like within the last couple years.
Yeah.
And I told him, like, I used to go to this area all the time, and I used to love it down there. It used to feel very warm and welcoming.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever I would leave, I would sprint because I knew there was somebody there watching me behind me, and I never wanted to walk away. I always had fun, right? And so it's the same space that he had this experience. So cool.
Well, with you saying that, we were talking about the spot that was scary earlier. What is a spot that you've been and it's been like peaceful? Have you had one like that? It's been very calming.
I mean, there's definitely been like a few different. The unrest is a normal thing. Like the unsettling kind of feel is definitely more normal.
Mm-hmm.
But there definitely have been times where it's much more on the opposite side of that, where it's calm and peaceful, and somebody wants to kind of come across and tell their story, and after they do, it's like a whole changed perspective.
Well, is that a thing? Like, do you feel like you have an influence, or whoever goes there, like, do you go there and you can have that much of an impact that you can change the energy of a location?
I mean, I don't know about changing the energy, but I feel like acknowledging the energy for what it is, right? Like the first thing that came to mind when you asked this question for me, there's a room at, again, the Greene County. This was the first investigation I went on with the guys when I first came on, and there was a room that was there that had a bunch of mourning art on the wall, which I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with mourning art.
No.
It's not a normal thing, at least not anymore.
No, what is that?
Like from before, as I understand it, and Derrick, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but basically from before, when people were able to take pictures of their loved ones when they passed, they would create this mourning art where they would basically take fragments of the person, in this case it was women's hair, and they would create these really, really intricate designs, and they would display them.
Oh.
It would be a way to memorialize this person and this beautiful piece of art. And so we walked into this room, and I could feel that there was somebody that was there. And it was very much like, we spent quite a bit of time in this room. It very much felt like it was a man that was connected to these pieces, who was literally just standing vigil. And he just wanted someone to stand in that space and feel that grief with him, and acknowledge that the power of those emotions that he was still, even in death, was still feeling. Like he was still holding memoriam for these people that had passed. Mm-hmm. It was very much tied to those pieces. So for us to be able to sit in there and just like acknowledge that and sit in that space with respect and with just respecting him and respecting the space and respecting what he was directing our attention towards.
Sharing that emotion, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Sharing that space and being able to hold that space for him was profound.
I don't know if you have the exact answer, but is there a way to like remedy these souls or spirits that are there, or they're just stuck there? Is there a way to fix it, or are they just
like, are you helping them in their journey when you're sitting in like their emotion with them like that?
Like, I want to go be the spirit healer now and go like these places and like, okay, maybe we should sit and talk instead of chain you to a wall.
Yeah. I don't know that we have the capacity, at least on our team, to do that. Right. I know that there are people that are within that realm that do, right, that are able to open those pathways up for people that are ready to cross. I can't speak to that. That's not something that I'm familiar with or know any, but I know that there are ways to do that. We just don't have the capacity to. But a lot of the people that are stuck there, I mean, they're stuck there for a reason, and they want their, whatever their experience to be acknowledged and felt and heard, or whatever that feels like for them,
And we've experienced that a bunch of different ways. I mean, we've helped tell stories. We've helped have things come to light or share names or whatever. And when that happens, you can almost feel the energy change. The one that comes to mind for that is the Mars train station. when we had no idea of what we were getting into. There was really no stories about a man there, but you end up finding out there's bones hanging in a room, and this guy's body was displaced, and he had no idea where it was. And so you open that up to the Historical Society to start letting them dig into it and find out more information. Yeah. You know, and you can almost feel it whenever a communication like that happens. But I mean, on top of that, we've also done things like house cleansings before, where at the end of it, where you just put so much emotion in that you can feel the energy there change too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is that something you typically do, as house cleansings?
It's not our norm.
Okay. Is it like a special case thing, just like as it comes up?
Yeah, I would say it's not like one of the things that we seek out.
Yeah.
But if somebody comes to us and says, "Hey, something's going on here," you know, we feel uncomfortable, and you know, we've really only done about what, guys, like maybe half dozen of them, something like that.
Okay.
So it's not like our forte.
It's still a fair amount,
but
though.
We will help out when we can.
Yeah.
I feel like Dan's trying to say something.
I think Dan is trying to.
This whole thing is jacked. I don't know. I don't know what the heck's going on. It's all good. No, we're good. Continue.
It's a good freeze frame that stopped off.
It is. It's a really nice
awful.
still that we have right now of you.
I look like freaking Ebenezer Scrooge in that.
It could be so much worse.
It really could be.
Thank you, dude. I look like I'm 60 in that photo. Holy cow.
Maybe a little constipated. Yeah.
That's probably more like it.
Jeez.
High fiber.
That was weird, guys. Like, as soon as we started talking about that Dybbuk box, I have no idea. You know, it was like just started going nuts.
There's something happening, I think. I don't want to get excited, but I feel like maybe.
So did Derrick, I don't know if Derrick segued into the time that his computer cord caught on fire.
I didn't know.
No. Tell us. You didn't know. Tell us about that.
So we were on another podcast, Sorry Not Sorry, and we were talking about, yeah, it's all right. They were way cooler, but we were talking.
How dare you?
Cut out.
Sorry Not Sorry, the name of the podcast, 'cause that's a good name for it.
No, but
exactly
that'd have been cool.
what it was.
Oh, okay.
No,
I thought you were trying to make me jealous. It's fine.
No, it wasn't Sorry Not Sorry. But
I'm sending you my Ouija board. It's in the mail. It's in the mail.
Don't tempt Derrick with a good time. That'll be there to haunt his.
Yeah, send it my way.
But we were talking about somebody asked us on a podcast if anything followed us home.
Yeah.
And we started talking about something that several individuals that had followed us had pointed out to us about some faces that were in photos from multiple locations. That they saw some similarities between the locations in these photos with these faces, saying that it was the same figure that was in these multiple photos. And we had a medium that was on the podcast with us, like she was one of the hosts, and she was saying that she felt like there was something that followed Derrick home. And when we started talking about that, the power cord to Derrick's computer caught on fire. And it started sparking, and it actually burned the insulation on his power cord on his computer, because he dropped off the podcast. And
I just sent him a picture. Like that's.
Yeah, I had to hold down the fort, while Derrick got another computer and got on. But that's what happened.
My house didn't burn down with it.
Yeah, as soon as we started talking about this connection and this attachment that he had with him, that we believe he still has, because we've had recent mediums that we've started to work with, Sabrina.
I was going to say, I was on a podcast, what was it, last Saturday or something, whenever we were just talking about my book. And they did like a whole reading and everything, and said it was this older man who's been stuck with me for quite some time.
Is it the gray-haired man that you saw at 565?
It might have been. It's the same guy.
Now we know.
It's the accepting of all these gifts, Derrick. I just feel like
we're not going to say it's not, right?
For all the negative energy supposedly around Derrick. Derrick has such a great energy about him.
Yeah, we were talking you up at the beginning of this episode. We're like, he's just so friendly and nice, and that nothing's following him. Wrong.
Oh no, Derrick.
Oh no, it's buried in my closet. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, Derrick. If there's any of us that are gonna keep something in our house with us, it's gonna be Derrick, because he is Derrick. I keep telling him, like, he's gonna be the guy that dies first ghost hunting, like, of the three of us, because he's like, oh, there's a noise over there that sounds like, a hellhound regurgitating some demon spirit that it just ate. And Derrick's like,
they
I
saw
want to
that
be
firsthand.
in that room. Yeah, Derrick's like, I'm gonna take this camera into that room and I'm gonna film it. And I just sit back and just like shake my head and be like, Derrick, like, if that's gonna be the way you go, like, if that's good with me, because it's better you than me, But,
as
like,
long as it's on recording or video.
Well, that's
exactly.
why I'll be part of the Ohio one now.
Think how much
I'll
money
be
you'll make, Dan.
I'm not into that.
Yeah. Yeah. If he's gonna go, it's gonna be ghost hunting, and it's gonna be because he's just oblivious to what could potentially happen, right?
He's like,
Just
a
make
portal
sure
to hell?
find the card.
Yeah, no doubt.
You'll die doing what you love.
Hey, whatever, right?
You
More
know,
power to him.
to each
He'll be
his
happy
own.
about it.
As long as it's a fun way to go. I mean, it has to be interesting. It's something to talk about. That's all I want.
Hell
Okay,
yeah.
that's fair. So, before we wrap things up, traditionally on the podcast, I do ask the guests to give a damn it moment, which is like an embarrassing moment. So, is there an embarrassing ghost hunting story that you would like to share with us?
Yeah. So it's actually something that we have coined and made a thing out of.
I have it right here.
Very early on in our investigations, Derrick, as he's going through the evidence, was sending me video and audio of, things that he had come across in the evidence to say, like, ooh, listen to this. I think this is something, ooh, listen to this.
Because that's what I do.
Yeah.
That's how I sound.
Yeah. So he sent me a video of him and I walking. I don't even remember where it was. Like,
I honestly don't remember the exact scenario.
yeah. So he's like, ooh, listen to this at like 11 seconds in or whatever.
I think it might be a demon.
I think there's something evil that's growling behind us. And he sent it to me, and I was like, dude, like, that's me farting. And because we weren't real good at it at the time, so we were not.
Oh yeah, it was early on.
We were not used to like calling out little noises here and there that we ourselves are making. But I specifically remember farting a lot on this investigation, and we developed, like, instead of, because we have to call everything out, like, we shuffle our feet, if we cough, if we are talking, we have to talk, not whisper.
Yeah.
So Derrick and I started saying on recordings, like, if one of us farts, no shame in the game, right? Like, fart all you want. But we were like, we have to call this out. So if you listen to any of our recordings, rather than being unprofessional and saying, I just ripped ass, we will say, I smell a demon. We'll say, I smell a demon. And it's something that has stuck with us for many years, probably like the last 8 of 10 years,
I love it.
So if you ever hear our recordings and say, I smell a demon, that's what spawned that. Was Derrick thinking that it was the hell spawn of Satan growling behind us, when it was actually...
And it was just Dan's ass.
Oh,
It was
how
my
devastating is that?
ass. It was my ass.
So do you guys like take Pepto and like Tums with you when you investigate?
No, that defeats the purpose.
I mean, honestly, we kind of fuel it with our barbecue beforehand.
Yeah.
You know what? As you should.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
I bet that's like a great like ghost hunting meal.
Hell yeah.
I mean, we've said it before, like, nothing's come home with us after we eat barbecue, so why not continue the tradition?
That's true. That's true.
Leave
You
it
knock
all
3
there.
times and you also have to have cornbread before. It makes sense.
Well,
Yeah,
naturally.
and beans.
To
Demon
spark those
kill.
demons.
Hell yeah.
Well, before we go, Dan and Derrick and Erin, I don't know if Dan, if you want to go first, or if there's just one handle that you'd all like to share, just let everybody know where to find you. All
Yeah, it's Dan's favorite part.
right,
Yeah,
do it, Dan.
is. Yeah, so we share everything. We
Okay.
are a community of ghost hunters. So we are Iron City Paranormal on all major platforms, social media platforms, of course. Facebook, Instagram, Iron City Paranormal. One thing I've noticed recently, we have a lot of people looking and very little people following. We want to see, so we're building a community around us, right? We want people to follow us because we want to continue to share with everybody what we capture, and we want your opinion on things. So when you visit on our Instagram account, Iron City Paranormal on all one word, or Iron City Paranormal with spaces in between each word on Facebook, or our website, ironcityparanormal.org, follow us, respond, communicate, comment, like, subscribe, all that stuff, because
it makes a difference.
Well, it does. And we're not looking for views. What we are looking for is to build a community of people that we can look to share our evidence with and see what your opinion is on it, so that you can give us feedback on if you are hearing something. If we are crazy, tell us. That's why we do this, right?
That's the fun part. Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah. So give us a follow, give us a like, give us whatever that platform is, so that we can continue to share, whatever we catch, and come with us sometimes.
Yeah, don't ghost. That's weird.
I do think we have some good stuff coming out tomorrow too. So
that's
sooner rather than later.
That's exciting. You guys will be my last episode of spooky season. You're wrapping it up. Grand finale.
We like it.
Headliner.
You are the headliner of spooky season at the Dammit Danii Podcast.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for having us on.
Guys, thank you.
Absolutely. We appreciate it.
Thank you for logging on. I know it's hard from the east to the west coast, but let's do a ghost hunting trip when I get back.
Absolutely. And screw True by Hilton. Just saying.
Yeah, we don't. Actually, this episode is sponsored by True by Hilton. Thank you guys so much. Have a great night. Thank you guys for everything, and we'll talk soon.